morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Tea. I'm Alex Schiffman, and joining me for another week, I'm so excited, is my girl, Monty Bolanos. Welcome back, Monty.
Hey girl, good morning, Tea Tribe. It is Monday. Why are Mondays so just annoying? I don't understand why Mondays just make me annoyed the minute I get up. I don't know, but I'm great. I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to the Tea Tribe. So it's the best way to start a Monday.
It is. It is. Now, I am actually in the desert right now. So I woke up in a beautiful environment. So my Monday is a little different, but I totally understand. Mondays are just annoying. Our mind is trained to not really like Mondays. And we got to retrain our brain because we don't really have real weeks now.
Remember last week when I was like, why do we have days? This is the reason why we should eliminate days, because that way I don't know when a Monday is and I can't feel this way. So we should just eliminate days. I don't know.
Of course. T-Tribe, if you're just joining us, you know how this works. Let us know in the chats, where are you watching the show from this morning? Of course, I just mentioned I'm in the desert. Now, I drove down from LA, so it takes about like 2.5 hours. And you know what I realized, Monty? I'm a huge car singer. Like, do you sing in the car? Do you sing in the shower? Are you one of those people?
Girl, I just sing all day. I make up songs to my dog, but totally in the car, like you put on some good music and I can just drive for hours. And maybe because we're in LA, we're so used to driving and being stuck in traffic, and people get like road rage. And I'm not saying I don't get angry, but I could put on some tunes and I'll be like sitting on the 405 freeway, not moving. And I'm just like in my car dancing, and people will look at me and I'm like, what else are we doing? You might as well have a good time in the car. Why not?
Right? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I have Sirius in my car, and so I have 90s on 9 is the channel. So we're playing all these throwbacks from the 90s, and let me just tell you, if you were interested, I can rap Just the Two of Us by Will Smith. The entire song I still know. So
of course I'm interested. Of course. Are you going to give us a snippet? You're going to get just a little bit?
I'll save it. I know people are still waking up. Monday's a little hard. But if I had I don't know, if I was playing Jeopardy or Name That Tune, let me just tell you, I could rap the entire song. So that's a little fun fact.
I think I can rap Dr. Evil's Just the Two of Us. Is that the same? I don't think I could do Will Smith, but I think I can do Dr. Evil.
I love it. Well, T-Tribe, let us know. Are you a car singer? Do you sing in the shower? Or, are you one of those, you just listen and kind of bounce in the back? I belt it out. So I fully perform like it is a stage on Broadway, and I am here as the leading star.
100%. Listen, I'm never going to get to be Elphaba on Broadway, but I am Elphaba in my car.
Exactly. 100%. And your audience in the car, they can't go anywhere. So they have to watch. Even whether or not they pay for it, they have tickets to the show. Cass says she sings all the time. LOL. Aisha is joining us from Pakistan. Betty Ann says, morning, T-Tribe. Love that, Alex. Oh, she loves that we sing. Tamara is saying, good morning, T-Tribe fam. Alex and Monty, happy Monday. I'm watching you guys again from Mitchell, South Dakota, and we have snow here. I'm at work, but I'm happy, and I have my tea to look forward to. Yeah, Tamara, that sounds warm, and you're bringing in fall/winter, and we love to see it. Well, happy you're joining us again. You join us every morning, Tamara. We know you. Karina says, I'm not a singer, I'm a screecher. Hey, that's fine.
I might be, and I don't know it. So that's the beauty of singing in the car. It's that nobody has to hear me. Nobody's going to tell me, but I might be that too, girl. I might be.
Now, Karina, I said I sing in the car. I didn't say.
Oh, I think, Alex, we've lost your sound. Yeah. T-Tribe, can you guys hear me? But I think, Alex, I cannot hear you. And maybe T-Tribe can't hear me either.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Yay!
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
So what I was saying, Monsi, is that I said I'd sing in the car, but I didn't say I was a good singer. Now that is a whole different conversation. We don't know that answer. So maybe I'm a screecher too, Karina.
Yeah. But speaking of singers, real quick, because I know we have a lot to talk about. Did you watch Adele on SNL?
I did. I had a chance to tune in. She sang.
She did what we said about like, oh, maybe she can sing in a skit, and that way we get the Adele. I was so happy.
Oh my gosh. She, first of all, looks gorgeous. I know we've said it many times, but she really looks beautiful. She's funny. There was one skit, it was Kate McKinnon and the other actress, the
Africa, the ladies that were divorcees and went to Africa.
She was breaking character. She was dying laughing. I love when either the hosts or the comedians break character. It's my favorite part. So I loved it.
Me too. And like for her, it's funnier because like that's not her thing, you know? So you believe it that she's like dying on the inside. And Kate McKinnon was just like trying to not laugh, but she even had a smile that she was trying to control to not go beyond a smile. It was so funny.
They're such professionals. I mean, both of them. I'm so sorry. I can't remember the other actress's name, T-Tribe, if you remember, but they are straight professionals. Yeah. And Adele, of course, she would laugh and break character, but then she pulled it back in. Like she finished the skit. So if you didn't catch it, T-Tribe, make sure to catch it after because it was so good. Good morning. Danny Lee is just joining us. Hester is saying, good morning. I am from Whitwell, Tennessee. I don't sing sorry, but I do love to listen to music. All right. There we go.
And girl, Alex, the actress that we couldn't think of, Heidi Gardner, which I knew her name too, but I blanked out. Heidi Gardner.
Heidi Gardner. Yes. Both of them are super professional, very funny, and it was a great, great skit. Great show in general.
Yeah. Agreed.
Great
Agreed.
Cool.
Yeah, and she did a lot of skits. Like she did more than others have done. I was so into the whole episode because you know, like SNL, like sometimes I get distracted on certain skits and like you look at your phone. I really was like into it. I was like, oh man, this is a good show today, full from beginning to end. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of a good show, Monsi, let me break down what we have on the show today because there is a lot to talk about. Of course, our Mondays are always packed. Starting off with a new documentary from Justin Bieber. Beliebers, listen up. You're going to want to stick around for that. Plus, Cardi B and Offset find themselves in some trouble with the law. We will tell you all about that. Then Wendy Williams fans are concerned for her health. This is pretty scary. Also, Cole Sprouse may have a new lady in Vancouver. We got a new couple alert, possibly. We're also talking about new music from Drake, Harry Styles, as well as Taylor Swift, conquering the sales charts. Of course, Swifties always take over the charts. Behind the Car Jenner gates, we are talking about Kanye's recent interview with Joe Rogan and some cute mommy daughter time. English is hard on Mondays with Kylie and Stormy. And finally, our OMT story of the day shows a certain someone sneaking into Selena Gomez's Instagram live over the weekend with Timothée Chalamet. And it's not who you think it is, or maybe it is who you think it is, because this guy just won't go away, Monsi, right?
Oh, man. See? And on a Monday. You see Mondays? Like, it's just, I can't.
It's so bad, but stick around for our OMT because you're going to want to hear all about this. So let's get into it, Monsi. Do you have your tea? Are you ready to cheers to all the tea? All right, let's begin on this Monday. Cheers. And of course, we kick it off with You Missed It. Now, these are all the stories you may have missed overnight. Don't worry, T-Tribe. We handle all the trending tea for you. First up, we're talking about Justin Bieber. previewed his upcoming documentary on YouTube Originals, Justin Bieber Next Chapter, over the weekend. Now, a follow-up to the YouTube series Justin Bieber Seasons, this 30-minute documentary is set to release on Friday, October 30th. Now, the documentary will bring fans inside of Justin's life during quarantine and how he used the secluded time to focus on himself, his marriage, and his music. So the teaser for the new documentary looks like it will be showing us how Justin developed his most recent singles, Holy and Lonely, with some guest appearances and conversations with Hailey Bieber, Scooter Braun, and more. So T-Tribe, Beliebers, Monty, are you excited to get a glimpse of inside of Justin's world from his perspective?
Yeah, 100%. You know, Justin gets a lot of backlash, but something that I think a lot of us forget is that he was a child star. And I do believe that he goes through these changes, these emotional changes that we may not understand, because the life he's had is a very strange and blessed life, obviously. So I believe all of these like up and down things, all of these revelations that he goes through, I believe him. He's been through so much, something that I will never understand. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I also like that it's only 30 minutes. Like if you would have told me it's going to be a 2 hours, I'd be like, I'm going to watch it over the course of 5 days. I'll let you know in the week. So I'm glad that it's 30 minutes. I'm totally going to watch it. I just want to see what he says, if we learn anything, or if it's just going to be the same. But this is more, I think, going to be about his 2 singles. So that's going to be nice to see an inside look at that. And I always like to see how he interacts with Hailey, because sometimes I think it's a little bit staged, even though I believe that they do like each other. I believe that they actually are in love, but I do sometimes think their photos are like a little staged. So I'm looking forward to seeing something not so staged, hopefully.
Yeah, you know, I agree with you. I love kind of seeing the process behind making the music. So I always love to tune in for that. I want to shout out Karina because she said, so we're getting another documentary that's basically a reheated version of Seasons, which is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You know, Seasons basically did all of that I just described. I hope we don't get that. I hope we get more insight, something different, learn something about Justin that we don't know, because we do know a lot about him. You know, we've had insight into his life with Hailey. You know, they had a Facebook Watch, a series called The Biebers, which I tuned in. That was unfortunately not very exciting. Of course, it was them at home, and it was nice to see them at home in their natural habitat, but they're saying basically, bless you. They're saying this is live TV, baby, or live YouTube, I would say. But you know, in quarantine, we're also seeing them at home. So we did also have that. So I hope we get something different. Of course, I'm going to tune in because it's part of my job to keep up with everyone. But also, I want to get, you know, what did Justin Bieber do in quarantine? I just started, speaking of quarantine, have you guys seen the series on Netflix called Social Distance? It's basically a series where I think it's partly scripted, but it's based on things that happened during quarantine. So every episode is different. I just watched one where they had a memory of someone's life, like a service on Zoom, and they kind of take things that happened in real people's lives during quarantines, good and bad, and kind of make an episode on it. It's pretty interesting. So... yeah. But this is reality, and I'm definitely tuning in. T-Tribe, will you be tuning in? Let me know. Yeah, Brenda says, what more do we need? Happy for them, but enough. Wesley says it's basically a Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but with less fun. Eric Jr. says, sorry to say it, we don't care about Justin. He tries too hard, and you didn't know he used to spit on his fans on tour. Oh, interesting. I did not know that, Eric. I
didn't either.
So amazing. Yes, that's unfortunate if that is true. I've never heard that. Karina says, like Ariana and even Demi, we get enough here and there, but not too much. That's overwhelming. Yeah. Betty Ann is going to tune in. She says, ooh, I want to watch. So listen. everyone has mixed feelings about Justin Bieber, but at the end of the day, if you are a fan, I think it'll be interesting to tune in. So let's move on to other unfortunate news. Offset was detained by Beverly Hills police following tensions related to a President Trump rally on Saturday. So Offset was initially pulled over with Cardi B's cousin, Marcelo Almanzar, in the car with him after rally goers had reported that someone in the car was allegedly waving a gun at them. Offset said that supporters had attacked his car and beat it with a flag. Video of the questioning was released as well, showing Offset arguing with police and refusing to exit his vehicle. When asked why he would not comply, Offset is heard saying, "Because you've got guns out." So Cardi B also arrived on the scene after the police had dragged Offset out of his car to question him on the sidewalk. Cardi was heard shouting at the police, "That's my husband. Why are you pointing a gun at him?" while being restrained by a friend. So the incident luckily went by without any escalation, with Offset being released without any charges. Cardi's cousin, Marcelo, however, was detained and charged with carrying a concealed weapon and carrying a loaded firearm in public. So this is a lot. So Monty T Tribe, what do you think of this situation and everything that went down?
Honestly, one of the things that stood out was Cardi had to be restrained. I was like, of course she did. I would not expect anything less of Cardi. I'm surprised she didn't end up arrested because she lost control in the situation. I don't know if there's video of the actual incident. I know that we have video of once the officers were there and all that on his live. If somebody was attacking me in the car, I'd be just as upset too. If I'm just,
right.
The whole thing seems interesting. The situation they were put in, obviously, where they were driving through. But if he was just being attacked as he's driving, I would be also upset if somebody attacked me while I'm driving in my car,
Right.
And if my boyfriend got arrested, I would be just like Cardi too. You would be the one restraining me, Alex. That would be the story. Alex had to restrain me as she's trying to figure out why her boyfriend was detained. That would be you right there, girl.
Let me just say, if I was in a fight, of course, everyone should follow the law and respect. But I want Cardi on my side. If there is a fight, Cardi is coming on my team wherever I'm going, because she's going to defend you to the end. Cardi has that loyal kind of spirit in her. And of course, like you said, she was out there defending her man, as we expect this from Cardi. So,
Sure.
It's great that, there wasn't any escalation and he was released without charges. Unfortunately, Cardi's cousin, however, was detained. So we will stay tuned to kind of follow that story. But all in all, Cardi girl, man.
Yeah. And Offset was released. So, this whole situation could have been way worse than the way it ended, as we've experienced, over the years, especially this year, that could have ended way worse. So luckily there's a little joke to it that we're laughing about how Cardi reacted to the situation. We expect nothing less of her. So it's a good thing that that's what we're talking about and that it didn't end worse than it could have.
Exactly. All right. Well, speaking of, some other unfortunate news, listen to this. So fans of Wendy Williams raised concerns for the talk show star's health after her October 23rd show, where she trailed off mid-sentence and stammered throughout the program. After one of her fans posted to Instagram about how Wendy needs to seek help, her former DJ Boof was brought into the conversation when another fan commented that she doesn't listen to her staff. Boof then commented, quote, "Yup, exactly, and it will all come out. Y'all have no idea what's really going on, and everyone there is afraid to speak up because they don't want to lose their jobs. This is going to play out bad. I feel sorry for the workers and victims." So many fans are concerned that Wendy may have relapsed with her drug problems. Wendy has in the past admitted, of course, to having a sober coach and that she spent time in a rehab facility and sober house to address her issues. So do you think, Wendy is possibly relapsing or something else is going on? Because this kind of insight from her DJ, and her herself said many times that during her last kind of incident before she went to rehab, everyone knew, including her staff, what was going on. Do you think the staff feels a certain sense of, protection over Wendy?
Yes. So, as I've said before, if you didn't hear me say it, I'm not a fan of Wendy Williams. So, I don't follow her. I don't really know much about her. So, this is coming from a perspective of somebody who is seeing this unfold for the first time in front of me and what I see. Definitely, I would feel that her crew and everybody that's part of the show feel a sense of responsibility. 100%. I can see why. And I saw the clip of her from her show, and I've never seen her show, and I literally was like, this is awkward. This is weird. Is this how she is all the time? And no, that wasn't the case. How unfortunate that she might have relapsed. That's a terrible thing for anybody to go through. And so I hope that this sucks, but maybe doing it on the show and living in that moment is going to help her. Maybe the fact that it happened on her show is a good thing, and that she can get the help she needs, because that really sucks. That's not something I wish upon anyone, because that's a terrible rabbit hole to get into. And so it sucks, but she definitely did not seem okay.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it as well, and something is definitely off. Like you said, it's not something to take lightly. And if she is, in fact, relapsing allegedly, then I hope she gets the help she needs, because, addiction is a very serious thing. And of course, she went through a public divorce, and there was a lot that could quarantine in general. If you're already struggling, there's a lot that can bring someone there, unfortunately. But I do wish the best for her, and I hope that she gets the help she needs if that's what she's going through. I want to shout out Lady T Joy, who said, is it a protection of Wendy or a protection of their careers? And I that is a point. At the end of the day, Wendy is their boss. So I think when someone is struggling with addiction, it's always a scary thing to go through. And it's like, when do you intervene? When do you not? It's always a hard kind of topic to deal with. It's a very sensitive topic. So I'm sure they struggle with both of that, protecting Wendy, protecting her brand, protecting their own careers. I'm sure all of that goes through their minds.
And now I got to add, again, I don't watch Wendy Williams. I don't follow her very much. I think she says things just to say things sometimes. What Lady T Joy said is, could there be a more toxic relationship or environment on her show than any of us are aware of? Could that be always a thing? Because there is a fine line between protecting yourself and your career. But if she were to have such a positive and loving environment, people would only care about helping her and not necessarily worry about their career. So now that makes me wonder, what else is going on that you're afraid of losing your career when you should be trying to help this person who you should love and admire and appreciate, because it's your boss. That's how we all hope our relationships are with our bosses, So that makes me wonder more of that. And again, coming from somebody who knows very little about her, because I just don't follow people I don't like. I don't get that. I don't know why people do that. So I don't do that.
Yeah, I feel like maybe this episode, which was Friday's episode, will bring everyone to the point where they do kind of intervene and step in. Obviously, there's tons of headlines about Wendy and kind of how she handled herself on the show. So I hope that this sheds light, and she gets the help she needs at the end of the day if she is kind of struggling again, because that's just, I don't wish that on anyone. And it's something you're constantly working on, when you struggle with addiction. So yeah, I feel her that. Well, some other unfortunate news, man, this docket this morning has a lot of kind of tough news. Listen to this. So Britney Spears' makeup artist, Maxi, revealed some serious allegations regarding Britney's conservatorship during a podcast interview. So speaking on the Calababes podcast, Maxi revealed that Britney's conservatorship has been directly controlling her relationship with boyfriend Sam Ashghari. So Maxi said, quote, I can tell you what they're still controlling to this day is whether she has a baby or not, whether she gets married or not, who her friends are, and those are some big things. We're talking about some Handmaid's Tale type things to keep her from having a baby. Like, we're talking, I can't detail it, and I'm not going to specifically say, but I will say for sure, she would have had a baby by now. She would have probably been married to boyfriend Sam Ashghari by now. She would have groups of friends around her. So Maxi did go on to say that Britney has been given more freedom recently with her social media access, probably thanks to the new temporary conservator, Jody Montgomery, which is Britney's manager. So these are some serious allegations that really puts the conservatorship battle in a new light. So how do you react to these revelations, Monty and T-Tribe?
How gross is that quote that you just read? Like, knowing that, hearing that from somebody on the inside. You know, I hate talking about Britney because it crushes me on the inside, as we've said, but this might be a good thing that somebody besides fans, besides the people that are in there talking about it, somebody on the inside is actually saying something. So this can be a good thing. Like, maybe, you and I were talking about it, like, why say something now? What could it be? Maybe there was a tipping point. Like, you can only watch somebody you care about suffer for so long, and there might be contracts involved. Maybe he shouldn't, or they shouldn't have said any of this, but Maxi says some really important things that we all need to hear, and hopefully this opens a door to helping Britney for real helping.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. What I'm also interested about, if Maxi is Britney's current makeup artist, I'm wondering if Maxi had to sign an NDA because, like you just mentioned, this may be the tipping point, because I'm pretty sure if there's this whole conservatorship around Britney, people are signing NDAs. I know that anyone that works with the Kardashians has to sign an NDA on the show and production that's involved. So I'm wondering if you have someone around your circle and there's a lot of legal stuff going on, I would assume that this makeup artist had to sign an NDA, which is why it only furthers our idea and our kind of questioning what's going on in Britney's world and the whole Free Britney movement. It only makes me believe it even more.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I guarantee you that this makeup artist and those people around her that have like a glimpse into the real life have definitely signed something. And it just goes to show that you can only stand idly by for so long. And maybe there was a tipping point, a revelation or something. And this is a good thing. Like, I'm looking at it as a good thing. As awful as it is to hear that statement, that comment, we have to take this as a good thing, that this can really be the beginning of a way to help Britney out of her terrible situation.
Exactly. I agree. Oh man. It's I hope she gets, kind of the help she needs, because at this point, it's just so tough to watch. Well, we are moving on to some lighter news now on this Monday morning. So Cole Sprouse sparked dating rumors over the weekend after he was spotted out in Vancouver with model Reina Silva. So the possible new couple were seen sharing some PDA, with Reina putting her hands into Cole's jacket to keep warm and the two hugging. Cole originally showed off Reina after he posted a picture of her from his recent photography shoots where she modeled for him. Apparently, the photos turned out better than she thought. So all this comes after a rocky year for the Riverdale star, of course, after breaking up with longtime girlfriend Lily Reinhart earlier this year, and having been rumored to be dating Kaya Gerber shortly thereafter, but Cole and Kaya quickly squashed rumors surrounding them. So, what do you think of this possible new relationship? Has Cole possibly found his muse?
Possibly. We talk about all these couples and like watching them walk to their car and this and that. There was actual PDA. They seemed to actually really be dating or something more than friends. So that's exciting that we get a little bit more of confirmation versus just speculation on our end. yeah, like people had hinted or like thought this a couple of weeks ago. So I think for sure, I think that was their way of like confirming and being like, yes, especially because he denied instantly about, oh my God, the name you, Gerber, what's her first name? The model?
Kaya Gerber.
Thank you. That
Yes.
he denied those allegations of dating her. Like he shut that down. So he's never shut these down. And then these pictures surface for sure. 100% he found a muse. For now, we'll see how long the muse lasts. But yes.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, guys always do that. Like, of course, you know, Reina is brunette and looks very, very different than Lily. They always go like full other spectrum in my experience whenever they go through a breakup. But at the end of the day, Lily and Cole, of course, shared Riverdale together. They, you know, had this young love and they really tried to work at the relationship. They were on and off for many times. And I really just think the relationship may have run its course, and that's okay. So I'm happy to see that he's happy, moving on. I hope Lily finds love again as well. And I'm happy for him. You know, good for him.
Exactly. And they look cute. They look cute together. Yeah.
Yes, of course. She's a beautiful girl as well. Yeah, no, they're a great looking couple. All right, let's get into our new music spotlight because we have a lot of new music to talk about. First up, we're talking about Taylor Swift and Folklore. So Folklore became the first album to sell 1 million copies in the US in 2020, according to Billboard. Now, the album has charted at the #1 album on the Billboard Top 200 for the 8th non-consecutive week, sending it to the top of the US charts. So Folklore has received a lot of love for Taylor Swift, making a return to her country roots that has many fans thrilled. So this marks the second year in a row that one of Taylor Swift's albums have made the 1 million copies sold mark, with Lover being the only album to do so in the US for 2019. In total, Taylor has 9 albums that have achieved the milestone. 9 albums. What do you think of this news, Monsi, T-Tribe? Are you excited for Taylor to kind of reach this milestone again?
For sure. Pero I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it 100. Folklore was not my favorite. I don't even think second, maybe not even third favorite, honestly. And I love Taylor. I've been a fan of Taylor since the beginning, you know? So this is not bashing her. I'm happy for her. She sold a lot of copies, but I'm a little shocked because I didn't enjoy the album as much. It wasn't that it wasn't good. I just felt like it was one whole song. Like all the songs kind of were very similar, kind of blended together. So the album didn't stand out to me. That's all. But I mean, you go, Taylor. Go, girl. Like, yes. But I think my favorite Taylor Swift album, if I had to pick, since I'm mentioning it wasn't my favorite, right now I'm going to pick Red. I think Red was my favorite Taylor Swift album. And so I'm all for it. You go, girl. More power to you. I just didn't love Folklore, but I love Taylor.
Yeah. You know, I agree with you to an extent. You know, when Folklore came out, I was really excited. I love that she surprised the Swifties. I loved everything behind it. And some of the songs I do enjoy, but I'm going to agree with you. You know, it wasn't my favorite Taylor song, but I do think she's super talented and it doesn't dismiss her talent, and she deserves this award. I'm a big 1989 fan. I love Red. I mean, I do think some of her other albums surpassed this album in my opinion, but I do like that she's switching it up. And I do like that Taylor reinvents herself all the time. Reputation is another great one, Holly. I love that. What other ones? T-Tribe, what are your favorite Taylor Swift albums? Let us know in the chat. But you know, Taylor just does it again. You know, you can't sleep on Taylor Swift. She's always going to surprise you. She's always going to bring more, and she's always going to get better and better. So, good for her. And I love to see her reinvent herself. So that's what I appreciated about this album, and kind of the nostalgic, going back to her country roots while reinventing herself. It's all great.
Right. Like
But
everything about it is great, you know, but I think
yeah,
it's just like, let's say Folklore would have came out a couple of albums ago, I think I would have felt differently. It's just that she is
right.
9, and she's got so many excellent ones that
Yeah,
I just yeah, that's really what it was. It's like if it would have come out at a different time, maybe I would have liked it more, but it wasn't my cup of tea, but I agree with you. Like she brought us something different. She brought us something
right.
new. She really dove into like her feelings and like released a lot of emotions in it. So I like and appreciate all that. But because of that, because of everything we just said, Folklore is not the album I'm listening to when I'm sitting in 90-minute traffic. It's not the album I'm
Right.
listening to when I'm going on a run, when I'm walking the dog. That's not what I'm going to listen to. But it's Taylor. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. And of course, go Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of Go Taylor, we're gonna get into some Harry Styles uh news right now. Look at that transition. So Harry Styles teased out a new music video for his single Golden yesterday, and it is supposed to drop any minute now, may have already dropped. See, Tribe, let us know because Arisha just said, just watch Harry Styles' Golden music video, and he's so beautiful. And that song was already my favorite song. All right, so we're talking about the teaser video first, but now it's already out. So in the teaser, Harry's running through a tunnel at the camera with a frustratingly unspecific October 26th popping onto the screen right before the good stuff. This will mark the 5th single released from Harry's album, Fine Line, following Lights Up, Adore You, Falling, and Watermelon Sugar. So are you excited for the new music video, which is out now? And what has been your favorite single from the album so far?
Oh, I'm so excited about this. That small little clip of him just in the tunnel from far away, I was like, oh, it's already drawing me in. I already want to see more. You know, like I was so into those 30 seconds or whatever it was. So I'm so looking forward to it. I love his voice. His voice to me stands out in a crowd. And I really like, I don't know if I could pick. I don't know if I could pick out of the recent singles he's released. I don't know if I can pick one. I just love his voice. Like there's something, it's so soothing, a bit rocker, but not like, dude, I'm all about it.
Right?
If I wasn't here with you right now, I would be watching this video.
I know. Listen, Harry Styles is a golden specimen of the human race. He is so charming. He is so talented. This title perfectly suits him, and I love anything he does or touches. Harry Styles can do no wrong in my book. Let me just tell you, he is great, and I think his kind of transition into solo career, his kind of like old school British rock star vibes, he does it, and he does it well. So I am so excited right after the tea to watch this and kind of see what he's done with this new single and music video, because we know it's going to be good. So shout out to Harry Styles, brings it every time. Someone else that brings it every time, or maybe not so much, is Drake, who continues the new music spotlight with his recent announcement of a new album coming this January. In a teaser clip shared to Instagram, Drake goes through video clips showing off the album art from some of his past records, ending with a CLB on top of a stadium to promote his January 2021 release of Certified Lover Boy. So Drake made the announcement on Instagram Saturday, his 34th birthday. Happy birthday, Drake. After the album was almost certainly delayed from a summer 2020 release. Drake had previously announced in April that his next album would be coming out over the summer, but since we haven't really heard anything since then, we will take the latest information at his word. So, are you excited for our new Drake album? And I prefaced it like that, Monty, because you said that sometimes Drake brings it for you and sometimes he doesn't. So, do you think he's going to bring it this time?
I hope so. Yes, sometimes he brings it, sometimes he doesn't. I also, again, I don't see him as a rapper. I know people call him a rapper. He is not a rapper to me. He is an artist. He is a singer. And there's many songs of Drake that I really enjoy, that I have, that I can listen over and over. And then there's other songs where I can't even get through the song and I skip right away. So it's like up and down for me, but I like Drake. Like I hope that he gives me something, and I love the whole album. But I feel like I've noticed that most of the songs I like of Drake are collabs with others. Like I love Take Care with Rihanna.
Oh, Rihanna.
I could listen to that song
and work
all day, every day. Every day.
Anything he does with Rihanna. Take Care, work. I mean, anything they do together just kills it. I agree with you. I think a lot of his collabs are some of my favorite songs, but I saw Drake in Barclays Center in New York. He is a performer. He definitely, like when you see him live, he brings it. But I'll agree with you. You know, sometimes I don't love his music, and other times I do. And a lot of times, like we just said, it's one of the collabs. I do think he's very talented. I'm not dismissing that, and I am a huge Drake fan. But I hope the last few singles I didn't love. I'm not going to lie. So I hope the album brings some more bangers because we need them.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that you said he's a performer. You know what I mean? He's an artist. He's a performer. I just really don't see him as a rapper. That is not the way I would describe him. You know, like if I'm telling somebody
he's a hybrid.
Right. I wouldn't be like, listen, let me tell you about this rapper. I'd be like, let me tell you about this performer. That's what I would say.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. T-Tribe, how do you feel? Tiny said, trust me, he always brings it. Tiny is a Drake stan. I am as well. Listen, let me just tell you, I really do love Drake. It's just the past few singles. Bless you again.
Thank you. Thank you. I got off the mic. You wouldn't hear it, but thank you.
All right. Well, that's enough of Drake talk. We will stay tuned and for his album in 2021 because we got to wait a little bit longer for that. But something else we don't have to wait for is our car Jenner tea time because beep, beep, let us in those gates. It is about that time to talk about our car Jenners. And right now we're talking about one of their husbands, Kanye West, who joined Joe Rogan in a recent 3-hour-long interview where they went through all manner of topics. Kanye spoke about his presidential bid and how he received his calling while in the shower to be the leader of the free world. Kanye also talked about his recent struggles with the music industry and some of the comments he made regarding Kim's pregnancy with their daughter, North. Now, a new bit of news also came up when Kanye admitted that Oprah told him that he didn't want to be president and that he shouldn't win. So a lot of this is not new information and stuff we've reported on in the past that Kanye has at the very least even tweeted about. But what do you make of this new Oprah revelation, and who doesn't take Oprah's advice? Listen, if Oprah tells me you shouldn't run for president, she probably knows what she's talking about. What do you think about this, Monty?
Like you said, okay, hold on. I have a lot of thoughts. Let me back up. First of all, 3 hours? Okay, listen, papi, nobody's going to listen to you for 3 hours. Nobody. Yeah. Even if they love you, 3 hours is a long time to expect anyone to sit there and listen to you talk. And that's with anybody. Remember, I just said I'm going to watch Justin Bieber's doc because it's only 30 minutes. So 3 hours? No. But there wasn't a lot of revelations. Like you said, it's kind of a lot of the same stuff we've heard, just maybe slightly different take. But this thing about Oprah, dude, if Oprah tells you you don't want to run for president, maybe you should think twice. Maybe you should sit back and just analyze the situation, make a list of pros and cons, and think about it. And she made a good point. She didn't just say, you shouldn't be president. She was like, you need to learn about foreign policy and like politics and this like real things, real issues that have been going on for years. So like she made a point, and you would think he would have listened a little bit. Like you said, if Oprah tells me to do something or not do it, I'm really going to consider taking her advice. 100%, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Oprah has this kind of like godly, queen aspect to her that you just listen. She's one of those figures that are untouchable. So when she speaks, you just listen. And I feel like at the end of the day, she's looking out for Kanye. She knows, like you said, that to run for president, I mean, in this day and age, it's a little different, but you should have some, sense of policy and everything else that's going on. And I feel like she's just trying to look out for him at this point. Rather than, Kanye's going to do what Kanye wants to do, as we know. But if she has anything to do with it, she's going to chime in.
Yeah, and it's just such an interesting thing. Maybe he just got starstruck with Oprah. Maybe he's still starstruck and he didn't really hear what she said, and he's just like, "Oh, Oprah's talking to me about being president." Who knows?
Right.
Who knows what he captured? Because if Oprah was telling me anything, I would probably have to tell her to repeat herself 5 times.
Right.
Because I don't know what was saying in my head.
I mean, Oprah is known to give good advice. So if she's giving me advice, I'm going to listen. And I feel like most people would listen up, and whether or not he agreed with her, I'm sure he was listening too. I'm sure he took a breath and listened to what she had to say. Right. But I agree with you. 3 hours. I mean, unless I'm going on a road trip and listening to a podcast, that is a lot of time to listen to something.
No, Joe Rogan was probably just like smoking weed the whole time, because he was just like, this is still going? Oh, okay, we're gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep smoking my weed because you talking a lot.
Isn't it crazy that Joe Rogan's podcast is the #1 podcast? Like, people love his podcast, and I think it just amazes me how he's kind of held that stature and that throne for so long. Like, no one has been able to surpass him. Like, he's killing it. So
I enjoy it. Not all of them. Have you ever listened to his podcast? I'm not religious on it, but every time I do find one and listen to it, I do listen to it, all of it.
Very entertaining. Very entertaining. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to this Kylie news, because Kylie posted some adorable videos of Stormi to her Instagram story over the weekend, and it had us all let out a collective "aw." So Kylie showed Stormi playing around by the edge of the pool in her pajamas, and Stormi saying that she is just going to get her feet wet, like a little toddler, just like, just gonna get my feet wet. Stormi, of course, then just jumps right into the pool with all her clothes on. Kylie wades in after her, also in all her clothes, and the cute couple have a fun time splashing about. Sometimes we forget that Kylie is such a wonderful mom, in addition to being an influencer. And I feel like sometimes I would like to see more of Kylie the mom, more and less of the influencer. Of course, that's part of her brand. It's never going to go away. But that moment when she asked Kylie to go in and Kylie says, "Oh yeah," just not even a second of hesitation. She fully went in, fully clothed. I mean, that really showed a humble side of Kylie Jenner that we don't always see. What do you think about this, Monsi?
100%. We said it last week that there is a twinkle in Kylie's eye when it comes to Stormi. And I saw this video I was somewhere, I don't know, I was like at a store, and I was probably in line. So I had no volume. And so I couldn't hear the interaction. I just literally see Stormi in clothes, going in water. And I was like, oh my goodness, Kylie's going in too. Like, it was so funny and cute to see it. And I saw it without any of the interaction happening. And I thought it was so sweet that even Kylie went in with her in clothes, which we all know is not that great, going into a pool fully dressed. It's not fun. You see it in movies and stuff, but it's literally like you want to be the one pushing somebody, not the one being pushed. But if you've ever pushed somebody, it comes back to you at some point.
Right?
And it's the worst. So I agree. A very humble moment, something that I don't even think Kylie was thinking about. And it just really goes to show how much she is more than an influencer. And like, it's interesting if you think about, everybody knows who Kylie is, but if you found somebody who didn't know who Kylie or the Kar Jenners were and showed them pictures of Kylie in her like leopard outfits and like all of these fabulous clothes and things, and then showed a different photo of just her and Stormi, people would be like, that's not the same person. There's no way. Like, she has so many layers to her that I was never expecting. Like, out of all the Kar Jenners, she has been the one to surprise me the most.
I agree. And I also want to shout out Kayla in the chat because she said she became so much more relatable and real. Seeing her love Stormy reminds me of how much I love my son. Aw. She's also helping normalizing young motherhood. And I think that's true as well. You know, Kylie's only 22, 23, 22. And, you know, she is a young mother and she is normalizing young motherhood because we do see, you know, some nights her being Kylie the influencer, going out, enjoying herself. Of course, we know the kids are well taken care of, but how normal it is to, you know, have a young toddler at that age. So I agree with that. I also want to note how good of a swimmer is Stormy. I mean, the girl was like, just a little mermaid all over that pool. What do you think?
Yeah. Girl, like I had to tell my best friends, like we were just watching a TV show one time and something about if we get stranded in the ocean. And my friends were like, okay, so who can't swim just so I know? And I was like, listen, no, I can swim. But if I'm stranded off a boat, I won't make it. Like I don't. Stormy was like a fish, a mermaid, everything. Me, like I learned how to swim, but practice, you know, in LA, I don't have a pool and I'm not one of those people that's going to go swim in a community pool. Not that either. So like my skills of swimming are very basic. Can I tread water, stay alive? Yeah, but I'm going to need help really soon, you guys. So.
Yeah, I just love, you know, because kids at that age can, you know, fall into a pool. And it's just nice to know that she has that skill because it can be very dangerous being around at pools in general. So 100%. I love that. I love their relationship. I love seeing Kylie the mom. And I did love seeing that kind of humble moment where she just went in fully clothed. Because I appreciated it. It was relatable.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's about time for our OMT story of the day. So get those crowns in the chat because we are talking about Miss Selena Gomez, who brought Timothée Chalamet onto her Instagram live over the weekend while the actor was waiting in line to vote early. So the two stars spoke about getting out the vote and the importance of voting early if you can. Timothée showed off how long the line was to vote at Madison Square Garden was over the weekend and said that he had already been waiting in line for over an hour when Selena added him to her live. Now, if we're going to get messy about it, listen to this, Monsi T Tribe. Some Twitter fans noticed that none other than Max Ehrich made an appearance in Selena's comments during the live, writing "bless up" while the live was happening. Exactly. So with just around a week left to vote early before Election Day, first off, have you made plans to vote? Go vote, all that jazz. But besides the voting part, which is super important, let's talk about Max, because Max is back. And Max is back on Selena Gomez's Instagram page. And what is going on?
Alex, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know the answers to this dude's decisions or what he's thinking. I don't get it. And like his comment, "bless up," what? You could have at least said like, yeah, go vote. I voted. Thank you for you. He could have said a million other things. And that's why that comment makes me think he was just capitalizing on the situation. He literally said nothing on something he could have said something. You didn't have to just say bless up. What? Bless up, go vote. Thank you for voting. I don't know, Alex.
I mean, I feel you, Monty. It's pretty crazy because at this point, this man is just seeking, dying for attention anywhere he can get it. And it's sad to watch, you know, because it's just like, what's going on? Like, what do you need in your life that you're not getting? Because like you said, he could have said anything else. You know, like a smarter decision would to be like, hey, Selena, I voted. You know, want to be friends. Like, what does bless up mean? It's just kind of like, there's no point to the comment. There's no purpose behind it. He's just doing it to do it at this point.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. And instead we're talking about him when I really want to be talking about Selena's Joker shirt with Jack Nicholson. Did you see that? How awesome of a shirt wearing. It's just interesting because Jack Nicholson is not a joker a lot of people, especially younger people, think about. You know, like the jokers nowadays that people talk about are not what I just said his name and I blanked out. Jack Nicholson. And he was the coolest Joker out of the Batmans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's always, at the he used at the Laker games, front row center. So I love him for that as well.
I want to take his sunglasses off. Every time I see him in a Lakers game, he's like, with his sunglasses, I just want to take them off your face. ¿Qué estás haciendo? You're indoor. You're indoor. Shut up.
Oh my gosh. But, I want to shout out Betty Ann, who said he's a clout chaser. Like, I feel like, I try to see the best in people. I just don't know what's going on in this guy's head. Like, I really just think he is, he's seeking clout at this point from anyone he can get it from. We saw him out with Sonika before, who is very much in a relationship. Like, he's trying to be seen, and he's reaching out for anyone to see him at this point. And I can't even imagine what's going through Demi's head at this point, because can you imagine if that was your ex-boyfriend just all over everyone's Instagram? I mean, all over the press, writing songs one day. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I already told you, like, I don't condone violence, but I already would have, like, slashed his tires in his car. Like, he's just, it's just too much. And he's not taking time away. And it's just like there's all these other people doing, like, really good things, trying to promote good things in the world. And here he is kind of just, like, living, but making noise. And it's like, dude, like, stop. Like, here we got Selena, who's been promoting voting, and then she puts this on her story. Great. Like, it's still about promoting. I think that whole thing, bringing Timothée on, like, that's perfect, because that's what she's been promoting. It's like, follow in the footsteps of these artists that are spreading good messages, doing good things, and not just making noise just to make noise.
Right. Eveline in the chat saying he wants attention, we're giving it. Haha. I mean, that is very true. He got what he asked for. But like you said, let's focus more about the positive side of this, and that Selena Gomez is promoting voting, which is something that is important. And it was kind of random to see them too on the live, right? Like, how did that even start too? Like,
I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I agree. I thought the same thing, because Timothée Chalamet is not a huge name. He's got a film coming out, and it's gonna, like, it sounds like it's gonna be great, but he's not that huge of a name. And so I was also like, how are these two connected? But hey, voting is connecting people, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, Monsi, that is all the tea we have to spill today on this Monday morning. Of course, we have to end the show with Max. And I hope, every day, I hope there's not more Max news, but it's the gift that keeps on giving that we're just accepting at this point. All right. Well, if you're new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts if you're an after sipper in the comments below. Monsi, thanks again for joining me. And if, the Tea Tribe wants to check you out some more after the show, where can they find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me across social media at Monsi Bolanos. Thank you guys for tuning in on this Monday and hanging out with Alex and I. We have so much fun chatting with you. Somebody did just say that they did a movie together, Selena and Timothée. So I was not aware of that.
True. That is true. I forgot about that.
So thank you guys for keeping me on my toes. Appreciate it. Alex, where can they find you?
You can find me at Alex Schiffman on all social media platforms. This was so much fun, and we'll be back tomorrow. Monsi will have her second Tequila Tuesday, so that'll be fun. Make sure you have your tequila ready, Tea Tribe. And on that note, it's time to wash this tea off our hands, and I hope everyone enjoys their Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Mwah.